Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25 Hard Mode on Riverbend Springs. A lot of things need to happen in the next month of September for us to have a chance at making a successful farm. We're desperate for income, and we were in the middle of trying to sell a giant elm tree. We're going to start off by selling the main part of the tree trunk from the big elm tree we cut on our property. In this challenge, we're not allowed to take any contracts, so all the money we make has to come from our own land. It got dark as we ended the last episode, but the price for wood is really good at both the sawmill and paper factory, so we'll go get these heavy bits of wood sold and see what they're worth. Almost $3,000, a great way to end the month of August. We'll get ourselves back to the farm and wait for daylight to come in September. Okay, let's see what we've got to do. We've still got several good pieces of wood from that big elm tree we cut down. They'll be the first thing to get on the trailer. There are also some fairly thick pieces, so that one tree has given us about 4 good-sized loads of wood. Let's see what this last batch is worth. $1,500 and a total account balance of $14,300. Let's waste no time getting back to the farm and take down the other giant elm we had at the lower part of our property. The previous big tree we cut and this one will be game changers in revenue. On the way back, we took a little hit to the account with some repairs and fuel. But if this second tree cashes in as good as I hope, we'll be able to make a big move here in September. But let's get this last tree cut up and see if that's true. We already found out how challenging these thick parts are weight-wise. Let's get those loaded up and sold first, along with whatever else we can safely carry. They brought in over $2,600. We'll go get another load. We lost a log on our way to the store. Unfortunately, no logs will be spared the fate of the sawmill. Any escapees will simply be put on the next trailer.
Resistance is futile.
All right, this load only brought us in $1,000, but there's a lot more to go. Now, what I'm thinking of doing with these wood sales is a couple things. I just hope we have enough money. One of the most important is our first production building, which will be a greenhouse, or actually one of the new mushroom grow rooms. The farm needs more regular income production, and I'm thinking one of the mushroom houses will be perfect. Let's cash in on the next trailer load of wood and see where we're at. A little over 1,000. It's technically enough for the mushrooms, but we'll go ahead and finish loading up the rest of the big elm tree so we can have a better view of exactly how much money we have to work with. Alright, another trailer full of logs, and we've still got a few more pieces left. We need a nice big payout, and we got $2,000. Let's quickly grab the last bits and take a look at our total. It's actually a fairly good amount. I thought it was just a few scraggly pieces, but this should be a respectable boost to the account balance. $1,200, bringing our account balance up to almost $22,000. We'll give the tractor a little fuel on the way back to the farm and make a decision. We've got one more tree on our property, or at least one more I'm willing to cut right now. It's one of the smaller elms, at about 11 meters, so it won't bring in a lot of money. But while I'm in this frenzy of tree cutting, let's get this one bucked up and sold. For what I have planned, I need a little more funding. The whole tree fit on the trailer, and most of the wood is smaller pieces, which won't add up to a whole lot, but we need every dollar. About 700. We're done with the trees. We'll add that to the account and get back to our farm for the next step in the plan. It's only the second month on the farm and we're buying our first production building. I guess it's still fair to call them that. Maybe that's just the things like the sawmill and cannery, but the greenhouses are under the bigger category of productions in the game, so we'll go with that. We'll orient it so we can reach the spawns, and there, we have it. Let's check it out. Yes, the water filling is on the back and not too intrusive into the field, and the pallets will spawn in a little corner facing the road. Perfect. The greenhouse, though, won't do anything for us unless we get it filled with water. For that, we'll lease the cheapest and smallest tanker at the store. At some point, we'll buy one, but for now, we just need cheap water. I'll dunk it into the river, buy the ferry on the way back, and get it topped off. Then, onto the greenhouse. Alright, now to test out our little creek. I have my doubts that it's big enough or that it qualifies as a water source in the game, but let's give it a try. Well, it doesn't seem to want to fill from here. Out of curiosity, let's follow the little creek upstream and see if it broadens out into a pond somewhere. We found a tremendous farmhouse. This is right up the hill a short ways from our field. It's even got a barn. Where is this exactly? Yes, it's a huge property, almost $370,000. Truly a luxury item. But it may be ours someday, who knows? The barn is a pretty respectable small storage shed. Let's finish tracking the creek. It leads right up into the woods. This is so cool up here, but we have reached the map boundary. We can go no further. There's a couple more buildings on the property, but enough daydreaming. Let's get back to our water. We're on a water tank lease, and we don't want to accidentally let our hour roll by and incur more fees. The main river through town is very close to our property, so it's just as easy to get to as the creek. The creek just would have been a lot cooler. Okay, the mushroom house is full. Let's look inside and get some production activated. We'll grow both enoki and oyster mushroom. The oysters are worth almost twice as much, but grow only half as fast. So I don't think it matters. We'll grow both just to have the variety. We'll get the tanker returned and hope that the water in the greenhouse lasts a long time. The mushrooms are a brand new facility in FS25. And the water consumption rate for any of the greenhouses could have changed in this release, so everything is still a little bit of an experiment. Okay, we have 4,000 left in the account, which is just enough for what I have planned. We're going to plant some trees in the lower part of our field. There's several new tree varieties here. This is pretty amazing. I love it. Again, a bit of an unknown on how fast they grow, how big they grow, and all that, but I think I'm going to go with the lodgepole pines. I believe they were introduced and maybe even exclusive to Silver Run Forest, but I also think they were considered a good tree for logging. Nice and straight, pretty big, so we'll get 2 pallets of those along with the tree planter. It's 1 pallet at a time for this planter, and the tractor is also skating very lightly on the front wheels with all the weight on the back. We'll just need to be a little careful on our way to the farm. I admit, I absolutely love planting the trees. It's just such a cool thing to be able to plant trees back into the game. And I'm really just planting future money for the farm. I bought the mushroom house for more immediate and ongoing revenue production. which we needed desperately. But these trees are totally different. With these, I'm planning for our future. I'm expecting it to take a few years for these to grow to maturity, so I'm sure we're not going to see anything off these trees in revenue for at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 years. But when they mature, we'll have 40 easy-to-cut trees, perfect for logging, and be able to get a very nice injection of cash into the account. Ideally, we'll also have bought a small sawmill and be able to produce our own beams and planks, which will make the wood even more valuable. So, I figured the sooner we get these trees planted, the sooner we'll be reaping the rewards. All right, the planters returned and we had just enough money left over to buy a bale spike. And fortunately, the log grab is handy enough to get that back home. Only $10 left in the account. The next thing though we have to do for cash is to load and sell the silage bales we made in the prior episode. So we needed that bale spike. But we'll give that and our plans for expansion over to a new day on the farm and the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.